everyone, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to make crunchy, minimal tech house kicks. You know, sort of in the style of like Hanging Tree by Bibi, you know, Pasa, sort of like that solid groove style, where they use these more crunchy, almost like hard techno influenced kicks. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make these kicks because it's a little bit of magic to it. It's not that hard if you know what you're doing. But yeah, today I'm going to be breaking it down because I don't think anybody else has on YouTube. To go along with this video, I just dropped a new sample pack called Definitive Crunchy Minimal Tech House Kicks Volume 1. What this pack is it includes 20 of these kicks. I'll play you them. Just these super fat and still quite crunchy kicks that are going to work really well for this style. So you get the 20 kicks. Plus, I actually have an Ableton rack that I made called the Crunchy House Kick Rack. You can drop on almost any kick, and it's going to create this sound. So it's really useful. Plus, I have some bonus chord stabs in there, and you even get some bonus bass lines to work with. So you get a bunch of stuff to make a track. This really helps to support me as well. If you guys enjoyed these videos, definitely consider picking this up because you get some great resources for your own production, and it helps to keep me going so I can keep bringing you guys videos every day. Link to that is at the top of the description. It's just $10. And yeah, let's get started. So, the secret to these kicks is essentially, you take like a 909 style kick. That's the first thing, is that you're going to need like a kick kind of like this, where it's just like this nice... Like you can hear that, it's got that like boom, boom at the start. Like a 909, so that's the first thing that you want to keep in mind. And you can use a lot of different 909 samples. You know, I recommend just look through different ones that you have, but you have to start with that type of kick. That's a big part of it because this has certain frequencies happening that you can hear. Like, they're not super strong now, but they're gonna get crunched by the distortion next, and that's what's gonna really make the sound. So you want like a nice 909 kick. And then essentially the main thing that creates the sound here is multiband distortion. So if you look at this, you can see we have 3 chains here. Inside this audio effect rack, we have the low chain, which you can see doesn't have anything on it. We have the mid chain, which is being distorted like this. And you can hear that's where you really get that like kind of thing. You know, most of like the distorted sound, like when you hear these tracks in the kick, is in that mid range. And what you do is you distort it, and then you take just the mid-range from that, essentially. And what this does is it allows you to kind of just distort the parts that you want. Because if you distort the whole thing, like if I just grab this overdrive and put it on the whole thing, see, it's not really the right sound, because you start to lose a lot of low end, and just kind of like a lot of definition in the kick. So you really want just that mid-range distortion. And so this is how we do that. And then we have the high layer. As you can see, it just has a little bit of drive. Here's without it. Just gives it a little boost, but you can turn that up more, you know. Essentially, like, you don't have to distort the high end, but as you do it, see, if you want it like a little bit harder, that's a really good way to do it. And you don't have to use overdrive exclusively either. Like, you can use a saturator. You could even use an amp if you wanted to go crazy with it. There's a lot that can be done with this. But that's really what it is. It's just a multiband distortion. Because again, like, you want this kick to be distorted. But of course, if you just drop the distortion on the whole thing, it's going to mess it up. Because you still need that low end. So you just want to give some distortion to the mid-range, maybe a little bit to the high end. And that's really going to be what's going to create the sound. And then after that, the last thing we have on here is a little bit of drum bus. So without that, and with it. And so this adds the last little bit of like definition to it. And I wouldn't always use drum bus on my kick so hard like this, but I think it works really well here for sound design purposes to just kind of give it that more like full sound. And it's going to make it really stand out in the mix and sound really full. And just really like right on top of things. And yeah, so that is the technique for the kick. Again, you just want to start with the 909, you know, a nice 909 kick that has like a bit of mid-range to it and kind of like that boom at the start, the attack. And then you're going to use the multiband distortion where you just split it into the different chains based on the frequency spectrum and where you want each one to be. And then finally, just a little bit of drum bus or like some sort of something. It doesn't have to be drum bus, but just letting you kind of tie the whole thing together and make it really fat and punchy. And that is how you make these style of kicks. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get my new pack, Definitive Crunchy Minimal Tag House Kicks. That is a mouthful. Volume 1. The link is right at the top of the description. It's just $10 on my Bandcamp, and this really helps to support me. You get these 20 awesome, super punchy, hard-hitting kicks in the style. You can turn any one of these into like a really solid track. Plus, you get the bonus chord steps, the bonus bass lines, and the Ableton rack, so that you can go and make these type of kicks with any kick of your own. Link to that is at the top of the description. Again, really helps to support me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.